right here good, Grandma?
There, so about that.
Right there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And back right up, and you'll be able to sit right down. Okay.
That's better, see it more in the sun.
Okay. And let me move this guy away for you. What's that one? You want to be a little closer? You can put your feet up?
Hear that?
Ooh, I heard that, yeah.
No, I think I'll, well, I don't know. But I need that blanket,
Yes.
please.
Okay. Here you go, Grandma. I'm parting all my toys and all my stuff. I have it folded in half, so it'll double up. Just like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Awesome. How are you feeling today, Grandma? How you feeling today?
Pretty good.
Good. I'm glad we get to sit outside.
Yes.
It's a little nicer out here. You look good in my hat.
I like to sit in the sun.
Me too. Good.
But I wish the little breeze would quit.
I'm sure it will.
Are you taking my picture now?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. See that bush over there? How it's blowing?
Mm-hmm. The trees aren't moving too much.
No.
It's just a little.
That's why I looked out the window. I thought, no, it's not blowing too hard.
Feels nice in the sun though.
Isn't this fun?
It is. Don't move. I'm gonna take your picture now. It's awesome. That's a good photo, Grandma.
Was it?
It was. Do me so. Say something real quick.
Hi, Aaron.
Oh. Oops. I didn't have it turned up properly. Say something now.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. The trees are not blowing too hard, and I love sitting in the sun.
Excellent. It's picking up now.
Is that enough?
That's perfect.
Is it off now?
Nope, it's still on.
Oh, it is?
But it's only recording audio. Nope, you can't see us.
Oh, good.
And then nobody around. Where's
the dog go?
He's right here. He's sitting in the shade. Right on the other side of the...
Because he was sitting over here in the shade.
No, he's sitting right here.
Oh, I don't see. That's okay. Just wondered that he was out here too.
He is. He's going to follow you around. Lucas loves you very much.
I know.
He gets excited every time he sees you.
I know that. Yes. And I don't miss the other one. Donna said every once in a while, she says, I still miss him. But that was her dog, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Maybe next week I'll start writing thank you notes.
Yeah.
I got to separate all my cards. Some are being sick, some are for Christmas, some are for my birthday.
You've got quite a list to go through.
Yes, I know.
It's all right. Well, good. We got something to keep you busy.
Yes, I know. I'm catching up on mornings with Jesus, and Jesus is calling. And I read quite a bit this morning.
Good.
But I'm still not caught up.
No, that's all right, Grandma. You can take all the time you want.
I sure can. I've got quite a few months that I can be busy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, plus, we're going to keep you busy.
Hmm?
Plus, everyone here will keep you busy.
Yes.
Not a problem.
I love it when you come here.
Good, Grandma. I love coming over and hanging out with you.
Good.
You're pretty low maintenance.
Yes, I am.
But
Does somebody come at 3?
no, it's like Dad's gonna be home around 4:30, and it's only 2:20 right now, 2:30. So we got about 2 hours,
Oh, good.
which is perfect because I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna ask you some questions, cause just real basic ones. And I'm gonna sit here and just let you talk, because you're 99, and I don't have any friends who have grandparents that are
Close to that.
as wise as you.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know
so
if I'm wise.
I think you are, Grandma. I think you are.
The way I look at it, that I can hold a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I can still have most of my marbles in my head.
You got your marbles plenty fine. So, but I get to tell all my friends all the time, especially recently. I tell them, yeah, my grandma's 99, and they go, what? That's so crazy. And I get to tell them all, yeah, my grandma has lived through a lot, and she's gotten to watch the United States be built from the ground up.
Not quite, but...
Well, but pretty close. I mean, born in 1925.
Mm-hmm.
You lived through the Depression as a little girl.
Yeah, but see, I don't remember that. I was little, and Depression didn't mean anything to me because my dad was working, my mom was staying home, and I didn't know anything about not paying your bills or going to buy groceries or anything like that.
Well,
because I was too young.
Well, but you guys also had the little store. Like, did you guys, like, get groceries from your little store that you guys lived above?
No, see, my mom and dad decided to start a store. And I had an uncle that had a store. And so he kind of gave them a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so they could start their store. Well, I think we had the store maybe about 2 years. Well, I was 15 when my dad passed away. And so when he passed away, my mom kept the store. But there was a young man that lived next door to the store, and he would help my mom if she had to, go pay bills or do things outside of the store. And so then he would work in the store.
Oh, that's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, his name was John. I mean, he was in his teens, and I was still very young when that happened. And so I liked him a lot, even though he was so much older. But he had a girlfriend, and she was on her vacation in Chicago. So I didn't know her until she came back to
Duluth?
Duluth, and so, of course, then I knew for sure that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And it kind of I thought, oh, darn, I kind of liked him.
Like, hey, he was kind of cute. And he was
Not that he
helpful.
was cute, but he was nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was good looking.
All right.
Hmm. And so then this man started coming in to maybe even buy. You could get 2 for a nickel pencils, 2 for a nickel.
Okay.
And then he'd come for any little thing just to see my mom. And then finally he invited her to go out for dinner. And she told me, and I said, well, yeah, I guess it's okay. And so she did, and they start going out to other things, you know. And then my mom said that they were going to get married. But I didn't go for that very much.
You said no.
You know, after all, I was only 15, and I didn't want a stepfather. But if that's what she wanted, that's what, you know, okay. Because my mom shouldn't be alone all the time.
Right.
But then, see, this was in, let's see, was it 1948. And so 1950, well, I'm going to back up. I came to California. I had this, there was a gas station across the street, and they had a daughter the same age as me, and we became very good friends. Her name was Betty Dahlgren. And she got married, and then they came to Duluth. And when they came back to California, I had my vacation, and I came back here with them. And I fell in love with the place, and I went back to Duluth, and I told Michael I'm going to move to California. And I probably told you this. And he said, no, you're not. We're going to get married. Excuse me. And so in October of 1948, we got married. Well, I'm going to back up again. We were at Come On In, where Auntie Dorothy worked.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a drink, and when he asked me to get married, I called Auntie Dorothy over, and I said, we're going to get married. She says, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? And I said, well, no, you know, I was getting older, and I had a niece who was younger than me, and she was already engaged. And so the reason for that, Aaron, is there was 3 reasons. He had been married before, he had 2 children, and he was Catholic. But we didn't let that bother us at all. You know, we all had the same colored blood.
Absolutely.
And so we got married, and now this is a story that goes on with it. We were going to get married in my pastor's house, which was right next door to the church. I felt, you know, since he was Catholic, we wouldn't go by the my church, so that he could have whatever he wanted to say at our wedding. And so we went in, and we made arrangements. We went and talked with him, made arrangement when it was going to be. And we got to his house. He was not home. No one was home. And we waited a while, my mom went next door to see if they knew if they were out of town or what. Anyway, he was an hour and a half late. And when he pulled up and he saw us, he hurried in the back door of their house to put on his robe. He had forgotten, and he had taken his mother and his mother-in-law to Duluth days.
Oh,
He had forgotten my wedding.
it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Auntie Dorothy was my bridesmaid, and a good friend of your grandpa's was his maid.
His groomsman.
Mm-hmm. And so we got married, and we went out for dinner, the wedding party and that. And then we decided to go to Uncle Vern's and Aunt Ella's house. And we were downtown Duluth, and they lived, well, it's called West Duluth. And we honked the horn until we got about a block away from their house, and the horn wouldn't work anymore. But we went there and had, oh gosh, I don't know how much to drink, but I can remember Auntie Ella and your grandpa sitting on a little stool, and she was sitting on his lap, and they both fell on the floor. And they sat there and they just laughed and laughed. They thought that was so funny after drinking quite a bit.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And so then we were going to Canada for our honeymoon. And it was along the Superior Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And
like Thunder Bay?
well, not quite. Well, yeah, I think we had to go through Thunder Bay. And they didn't think we were going to make it to Canada, but we did, and we got a hotel. Oh, women could not go in the bar.
Huh.
Yeah, and that disturbed us. So we stayed one night and came back to the United States.
Oh, because
Because,
Grandpa wanted you to go in there with him.
yes,
You
of
both were going to
course.
have a drink.
Yeah, so we came back to United States, and there was an apartment upstairs of the store that my mom had rented out.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she had them move, and we moved in there. And that's where we lived until we went to California. And your grandpa fell in love with the place. He called his boss and said, "I'm not coming back to work." But we had at that time, we had a lease on this other house, not the one upstairs, my mom's.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 months still. And so I stayed there, and I continued to work. And your grandpa went to Calexico because he had a brother. He visited him, and when he visited him, his brother said he would give him half of the business if we moved down there.
And that was France Brothers Tile Company.
That was
Or,
maybe it was Frank. I think that was it, because your grandpa, there was about 8 in the family. I think about 5 girls and 3 boys. So then of course we had our furniture storage.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to wait for someone that was coming to California, not just one person, two or three, whatever it was. And they finally found one that was coming to California, so we had our furniture moved out here.
Yeah, bring it all out.
Yes, and your grandpa didn't want to get married until we had enough money for a whole house for furniture. I mean, he was frugal, but he was not overly.
Yeah. He's
And so
frugal, but he
I
still wanted to
agreed
have
with
nice
him,
things. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So we had enough money. We went shopping and bought all our furniture, paid cash for everything, and moved in upstairs of the store. And so that's where we stayed until we moved to Calexico, from Duluth down to Calexico. And we couldn't find a house at first, so we lived in a hotel room for a while. And then we finally found a dump.
Your first house?
Yeah. It was 3 houses on 5th Street. And you come into Calexico on Imperial Street.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there was those 3 houses, and I got one, the middle one. Anyway, I went to work, and your grandpa learned about the flooring business from his brother. And I got a job in El Centro because I was a beauty operator in Duluth. And first I had to go to school for a couple of months because California's law was so much stricter than the one I had.
Yeah, you had to have a different license.
Yes. Not only that, Aaron, is they were much more stricter and had more questions. Well, when I got the report on how I did, they gave me 99. And I was so mad that why didn't they give me one more point so I'd have but then I heard that California doesn't give too many 100s.
Nope, not really. But a 99 is just the same almost. It's right there.
So then from there, El Centro, I got a job in Calexico in a house. Her name was Betty Prock. And she was married and she had a little son. So I worked there until I got pregnant with grandpa and had her dad. So then I quit. Then, of course, 8 years later, I got pregnant with
Uncle Gary.
Uh-huh. Are you recording all this?
Yes, I am.
Oh my goodness.
Even all that noise in the yard next to us, it's picking up everything.
Oh. So I stayed home until both of them were in school. And I was going to a meeting for PTA. I was active in PTA because both my sons were active in school, football, and you name it. Especially your dad.
Oh.
He was active in a lot of things, and they were both in a band. and I was walking into this meeting. Bertha Myers, who was a fourth grade teacher, was talking with the principal, and she says, "Why don't you ask Evalyn France? Maybe she'd like the job." And I said, "What? I'm not going to work. What job was it?" And I became a teacher's aide. And so I said, "Well, I'll talk to my husband." So when I got home, I said to your grandpa, "Is it okay if I go to work?" The first thing he said was, "How much are you going to make?"
Yeah.
I said, "I don't know, I'm just asking you." And he said, "Well, it's up to you because both boys are in school now and I'd be home during the summer." And so I went to work as a teacher's aide. But I worked with this teacher that didn't know Spanish. And of course I didn't know Spanish. And they had to have someone that spoke Spanish.
You had to have a translator?
And so then they took me and gave me another teacher that could speak languages. And I did that for about 3 years, I think. And I liked it. I had a group of kids. Well, I had two that were both could speak both languages, but the rest of them didn't know English.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Now we're going to put on a play for the home room." And so we start practicing, and would you know, when we were going to put on the play, they all forgot their lines. And we worked so hard at that. But
that happens when you get nervous all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you practice and practice, and then you get time to it, and you go,
"Yeah.
"Oh, I forgot."
Mm-hmm. You're right."
That's happened to me a couple times, even when I play guitar.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then I joined the Eagles because we were going there every Saturday night for dancing.
Mm-hmm.
We loved to dance. And this one Saturday night I wasn't feeling very good, and so your grandpa says, "Is it okay if I go?" And I said, "Sure." I trusted him. And because, see, he didn't know how to dance when we started going out dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And he just learned it. Being Italian, it came easy for him. And it got to the point where I was lucky to get the first and last dance because so many ladies would come over and ask him to dance. But fortunately, they had a husband, so then their husband asked me to dance, so that I wouldn't have to sit there by myself.
That's lovely.
Mm-hmm. And, so he came home and he told me all about the dance, who he danced with, and blah, 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 blah. And that was fine. And then I joined the auxiliary, the ladies' auxiliary, and I became president. And then it came to the point where no one wanted to follow me, and so I took it for the second year. You could have it for 2 years. And
It's because you did too good of a job, Grandma.
Well, it could be true because I did learn everything. And at that time, your grandpa was an elk, and he was going to become president of the Elks.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd be in the living room, and both be talking out loud. He was trying to learn his part, and I was trying to learn my part. See, these are all memories coming back to me.
That's why I wanted to ask you about him. Gotta get these on record.
And so I have a picture of him with his uniform on. They wore shirts and ties and jackets. And when he passed away, I still had them. And I called the secretary of the Elks, who was a friend of ours, and asked him if he could, thought maybe someone could use them. And he said, oh, I'm sure there is. And he didn't want me to go into the Elks because, we were very active in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, I'll meet you at the back door. And so I gave him his stuff. Jack Lorenz. Yeah. And when your grandpa passed away, he was the one I chose to get everything together. So his funeral was, not the funeral, but his
memorial service?
Was at the Elks. And then, of course, we were it was a kind of a hot day, even though it was October, that we had it. And so the family sat in a room in the back, so I didn't hear anything that was going on in the big hall. And then I had my pastor. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
My pastor say something at the cemetery. And I can remember when they were putting him in the hole, I started to cry and I threw myself on the casket.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
I said, oh, Michael, and Arminta Guthrie. I don't know if you remember her.
I remember Arminta.
She got up and she says, I'll take her to the car. And Alan Hems, who was the funeral director, he says, I'll take her. So he took me to the hearse so I could have my cry. Aaron, I've loved your grandpa.
Never did. And we all know.
I've had, I don't know if you know this, I've had 3 chances to get married, and I never would. And one man even gave me an engagement ring. And I know the night he gave it to, we were going to a dance, a real fancy dance, and I had on a formal, and he had on a nice shirt and stuff, and so he said to me, turn around, and I turned around, and he put it around my neck, and I said, you're going to kill me with that damn ring, aren't you? And your dad was in the bathroom. He always made sure he was either in the bathroom or outside when John would come. He couldn't accept the fact that I was dating, but I waited 2 years before I went on a date.
Of course.
And so when I went and showed him what I had on my finger, he said, oh, that's all he said was, oh. But I gave it back to him, I bet you 15 times. And every time he'd give it back to me. One time we were coming from Yuma, and I don't know what we were discussing. and I put it in the ashtray. I didn't want that one. And I met another man at a dance in El Centro. He got transferred over from his job, and he was from Texas, and he wanted to get married. Well, I don't want to get married. And also, Marvin asked me. Now, I have not told anyone that.
I think we all knew, Grandma.
You thought so?
Yeah, Marvin looked at you in a very special way. Marvin liked you a lot, and we
I know
all
did.
knew it. And Marvin was a very sweet man.
Yes, he was wonderful. Most polite man I think I've ever known. And I told him, Marvin, I love my life. I don't want to get married. I've been single for so many years, and I can come and go as I want.
Mhm.
Cook if I feel like it. I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, you just gotta look after you.
So one time when we were sitting on the couch and he asked me to marry him, and I said, you know what, Marvin, you never told me you loved me. He says, oh, but Evalyn, I do. I love you very much. That saying love means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your grandpa never, ever came in the house without kissing me. He could be gone 10 times during the day, and every time he came home, he always kissed me.
I bet you he did it before he left, too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he did. He always did that.
I never met Grandpa, but there's some things I get from him. That's one of them. Before we leave for work, I always give Andrea a kiss.
That's good.
Many times I walk her to her car, make sure she's got everything. I'll close the door. Well, I'll give her a kiss, and then I'll close the door. And then I'll usually just make a joke or make her laugh somehow. And then when we get home, she always knows, like, you got a bunch of stuff, I'll help you unload the car, do this, that, and the other. You're just getting off of work. But as soon as that car's unloaded, and groceries are put away or whatever it is that we have to do gets done, I want my kiss.
That means a lot.
It means the world.
I think it means a lot.
It means the world.
And I know I see your dad kiss Donna all the time too when he's going to bed. And he's going to leave you for a day. That's why I miss him so much. Donna and I, a lot of times, we don't go to bed early. We sit up and don't even watch TV. And we have conversations. And we don't go to bed until 11, sometimes after 11.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm sure right at midnight.
But I've had a good life, Aaron. I have wonderful friends, wonderful family, wonderful neighbors. I have been so blessed.
You have an army of people, Grandma, who love you.
Thank you.
People who care about you.
I know. You know, when I left the hospital to come here, did you know there was a long line of nurses and people that worked there that came and hugged me? We're going to miss you.
I did not know that.
You didn't?
No, you made quite a splash at that little facility there.
Yes, it's amazing because so many of them said, "Now, let us know when you're leaving because I want to say goodbye to you." No, I don't want to say goodbye. I tell them I don't want to say goodbye. I just want to say so long.
Yeah. Say, I'll see you later.
Yeah. Goodbye. This seems so final.
100%.
And there was several of them that said they wanted to come to my 100th birthday. So,
Well, we gotta start planning a heck of a party for this November.
hallelujah.
It's okay, Grandma.
I'm okay. I just have to.
It's okay. Would you like me to get you some water? Okay. Okay. I love you, Grandma.
I love you from the moon, sky, stars, and back 6,000 times.
That's a lot of miles, Grandma. I don't know if I could beat that. I'm gonna have to take that saying from you. I'm gonna have to go use that on Andrea.
What?
Is that love you to the moon, sky, and stars and back 6,000 times.
I just made that up.
Yeah, well, it's a good one. Like I told you, you're wise.
And I told my pastor, I told Eric, I certainly hope he's still here. When I do pass, I want him as my pastor.
Was he thinking about moving?
No, when I'm going to be 6 feet under.
No, I know that.
But God knows best, and I know when I talk about this, Donna says, don't talk about it, I don't want to hear it.
You're talking to the right person, Grandma. I'll hear everything you have to say. You gotta have the Kleenex up. You gotta have your Kleenex up your sleeve at all times.
And I gotta have it with me through someplace.
Oh, do you have some with you? I'm gonna go get you some.
No, I think I got my arms stuffed.
Okay. I like your trick. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I roll up my sleeves.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Hi, Lucas.
Are they fixing the road or something? Sounds like they're fixing the road with a tractor.
There's some machinery going on over there or something. I'm not really sure. I'm just glad it's not too loud. I know my microphones are picking it up, but that's okay. Oh, Lucas. Yeah.
So that's about my life.
Well, yeah, no, I was just thinking you lived in Calexico for about 50 years.
I was born and raised in Duluth, Minnesota.
And then at about 22 or 23, you moved to California?
Well, I got married when I was 23, which was in October, and
Well, in November you turned 24. And so by 25 you came out to California?
Yes.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So 25 you came to California. You lived for 50 years in Calexico. And then at 75, you moved all your stuff out of Calexico up to here, up to Santa Maria. And believe you me, Grandma, there's an army of people here who care about and love you very, very much.
Oh, I know. That group of girls. Oh.
What, Donna's friends?
Yes.
Heck, Jane came by and gave you a haircut this morning.
Yes. I asked her, I says, how much you. She says, you're crazy. You think I want money? And I says, well, yeah. So now I'm taking she and Donna out for lunch to pay.
Heck, I should start cutting your hair more. I want some lunch.
You can turn that to the thing. I don't know what I'm talking
Okay. Totally fine.
about. Well,
Actually, here. Before I do that,